most difficult part about playing France?
Personally, the most difficult part about playing Freya? That's a great question. There's just a lot of great things that I loved playing. You know, I loved being a part of Love is Love and representing that. But what was most difficult, I guess, tapping into emotional stuff and like the fact that she, you know, would do anything for family, and I related to her a lot in certain aspects and having to kind of tap into that. And it's reminding me of one story actually. I was going through a little bit of a hard time, and while I was going through that hard time, I had a scene to shoot, and it was, I don't know if you guys remember the scene, but I'm like in a coffin, buried alive. And that day, I had to get to set and go in this like coffin and scratch at it and scream at the top of my lungs and cry as hard as I could. And as soon as I started it, it just like all came out. And when I was done, I kind of turned to producers and I was like, this should be something that we have available. I think we should have coffin rooms where people can go in and scream and cry as hard as they want. How often do we really get to scream at the top of our lungs? Not often, right? I feel like we should all do that before I leave. We should all scream really, really loud and get it out. But it was really therapeutic. I got all my emotions out and I felt better, and I was like, you know, there should be something available. So we should start this business. Coffin rooms. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Brooke.
Hi.
I was wondering who you got closest with on set?
Who was I closest with? We were all very, very close by the end. I was very close to Maisie, who played Rebecca for a while. She was my first friend on set because we came at the same time. So I was very, very close to her and love her dearly. And then I'd say on a day-to-day basis, I mean, we were all really close, but I probably, it's hard to say. I want to say Gillies, but I was, you know, we were all pretty close. It was really great. I also really connected with Danielle. Yeah, I love them all. Sorry, I can't think of who I was like actually closest with. We were all kind of just that family who worked together every day, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, who do you fit more, Haley and Elijah, or Klaus and Haley?
Haley and Elijah. Yeah. I really actually love them together. They have a great scene where they like don't say much at all, and like I think he like puts his like coat over her or something, and like I just really liked their dynamic. And yeah, I think is that the right answer? Is that what you wanted to hear? Okay. No? Oh, good. Thank goodness. Okay. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Allie. First
Hi.
I want to say that I love you so much. You're one of my favorite actors in the originals. You're so amazing. I love you so much.
Please stop it.
So the first question I wanted to ask you is that what was your favorite part about being a witch in the originals? And the second question is that if you had to, what other creature would you be?
Yes. My favorite thing about being a witch, I really loved breaking necks. I really enjoyed that, and I really wish that I could do it in real life because it was so cool on set where I would just go like this and someone would just drop, you know, and I got really into it, and I tried it a few times in real life and it didn't work. But I loved that part of being a witch, being powerful. And then what creature? I like them all, but I really wanted to see Freya as a vampire. I wonder what that would look like and how she would be, and I just kind of like the overall being a vampire. Like I'm intrigued by it, as I'm sure we all are, right? So yeah, I think a vampire.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I mean, I can't think of anything like specific, but I will say that, you know, with all shows I've done, whenever you're doing something like, say, a breakup scene, or a heartbreak scene, or an in-love scene, or a family dynamic scene, or a breakdown scene, whatever it is, you find yourself connecting to personal experiences of yourself, you know, and it kind of comes out. And it can be a hard process, but also a therapeutic process, you know, that you could, it's like that happy medium of like tapping into things you've been through before, but still making it about the character and not like having to go to your deepest, darkest place. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a specific scene. I just remember, I don't know, this doesn't really relate 100%, but when I had to kill Davina, that scene was really hard for me, and I obviously have never killed anyone in my life, so I do not relate to that. But my point is that it was really hard, and like just seeing her emotional, like someone you care about emotional, and then you're having to do something was like really hard for me. It was really upsetting and like real, that scene, you know, so.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Love you.
Hi.
Hi.
Was it awkward when you first came on the show, or was the cast roles?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, this is a funny story that Nathaniel can probably tell you more about, but my first time on the set, I was, if you guys remember, I had like my hair like Princess Leia. I was like just at the party with, no one knew I was Freya yet. I was Cole's date. So when I first came on set, that was the first scene I shot, and well, I believe they all thought I was an extra who was just hanging around them. They didn't realize I was like a character to be. I think they thought I was just like someone who kind of like snuck through and was like hanging out with them, including Nathaniel. He was actually really nice to me, but like he was kind of like, you know, like, what is she doing here? And this is like the cast room. So that was funny. And then I'd say my journey with them was similar in some ways to Freya's, which is like I was the new kid on the block. You know, they had all created relationships already, and so I was like kind of the new girl who was like, hey, I'm cool too. And then slowly over time, as we got to know each other, we really just became family. And so actually, to answer the last person's question, that is something I related to, was when Joseph finally says, like, you know, you are my sister. Like, he finally accepts me as his sister. It was kind of like, in real life too, I was like part of the family at that point, you know, in real life.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. But sorry, they were also very nice and helped me, but I had to like kind of get my way in there.
Hi.
Hi.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall it right, like most of the scenes, like the New Orleans scenes in originals, were not actually shot in New Orleans, but in Georgia. Have you ever been to New Orleans, and like, how do you like New Orleans if you've ever been there? Because I came all the way here from Austria, from Europe, and I really want to go there just because of the show.
Yes, you must. You must. So yes, you are correct. Most, I'd say 99% of what we shot was shot in Georgia. We even like bought streets out and decorated them to look like New Orleans. But very little was actually shot there. But it is a fantastic place. I lived and worked there on American Horror Story many years ago, and I love New Orleans. I love it. Now, one thing I will say, if you were going, just like any city, but be careful. Do not go out at night alone. Do not go anywhere really, you know, that there isn't a lot of people. So be careful when you go, but it is a ton of fun, and it's very good.
Mardi Gras?
I have not, and it's on my bucket list, but I was there during, what festival was it?
Jazz Fest?
No, it was an LGBT festival, and I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. but it was fantastic. It was so cool. Everyone was dressed up, and just the aliveness. Oh, another thing to know about New Orleans: pedestrians do not have the right of way. They will keep going, and they have that right. So remember that. But it's super, and also especially if you love the show and you love just like history in general, like I did the ghost tour.
Oh my God.
Wasn't it the best?
I would do that. I didn't do it.
Oh,
but I
it's
would want to.
so fun. It's so cool. And like, especially at the time shooting American Horror Story, there was like stories about real people that we were shooting about that they'll tell you about. And you get to see like just like all these haunted places. I'm all about that stuff. And so I'm sure you'll have tons of fun if
Thank
you
you
go.
very much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Who was your favorite person to work with?
Favorite person to work with? Well, since he's here, I'll say Nathaniel. He really did keep me laughing pretty consistently. All of us, and it's just always a joy to work with and be around. Never did not have fun with him on set, so he'll be my answer this time. Thank you.
Hi, my
Hi.
name is Zoe. I just want to know what was the moment where you found out like how powerful prayer was and what to
Ooh. Well, actually, ironically, I feel like one of her most powerful moments is like when she's first seen, when she's in the like cuckoo house. You guys remember? She was like, and like she puts the tiles to say Freya, and she's like standing over the bed, and she's super creepy, and she kind of doesn't know what world she's in yet, and she like blows those guys to the side with her hand movement, and like the door opens, and she's like, I have to go see my brothers or whatever. I can't remember what the line was, but I remember like being like, ooh, she's powerful. She's really powerful. So I kind of feel like right off the bat, you know?
Thank you, I love you.
Thank you, I love you. Thank you. Hi.